Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the show. I'm Joe, and absolutely, this is my favorite time of every week. Today, we are honored to be joined by a transformative leader making history, serious history in higher education. Please welcome Dr. Jermaine World, the current president of Augusta Technical College, but the newly appointed president of Savannah State University. Welcome to this show, Jermaine.
Dr. Joe, man, very ecstatic to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. We've been having this conversation about making this happen, and we're finally here. So excited about it.
I so appreciate, and you have a little bit going on right now.
Just a little bit, a lot
Just
of
a little
transition,
bit.
but it's
What is
great.
it like? What is it like to be you right now in this season?
Well, it's a bittersweet moment. I have a great community here in Augusta that I've been with for over 4 years. Know everybody, uh, very community, family oriented. Kids are in school districts. Wife is planted here, and so to uproot what's been a phenomenal experience to go to a new community is bittersweet. But on the same token, the love and the welcomes from Savannah has been extremely overwhelming. I mean, just the
Yeah.
phone calls, the
Yeah.
emails, the messages, the excitement, the buzz in the city is at an all-time high. So I'm thrilled about the new adventure.
There's a song that songs keep pumping into my head every once in a while, but this is an oldie one, and it's that torn between two lovers, right? You're just like
Yes, sir.
loving where you're at and really loving the opportunities. And I got to point something out right away. And this might be playing out of bounds a little bit, but let me go. I think you've got to be one of the youngest and probably one of the fastest climbing presidents that we've ever had on the show. If I could like etch out a license plate and put it on your vehicle, you're still staying in Georgia, so it's still a Georgia license plate, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's gonna say "Maker of Happen." Huh? Huh?
I'll take it.
You
I
take
need
it.
I need to go do that. Yeah, very blessed, man. I was the youngest hired in the technical college system in Georgia at 35.
Wow.
And now I'm 39, one of the youngest in the university system. So I'm just very blessed, very fortunate.
And it's not subjective. I mean, you've been called out as part of the top 10 young professionals, not just because of your educational excellence, but because of your commitment to community as well.
Yeah.
My guess is there's a lot of people just watching you. And when you reflect on all of that, because there's a lot, it's pretty heavy. Um, and the impact that you are making, your story is compelling. And my guess is you've got some students that are kind of leaning in a little bit, going, and they might see themselves in your journey, right? As a younger leader. How are you
Absolutely.
thinking about that? How does that impact all
Well,
that's going on?
it's one of those things. It's a legacy opportunity, right? To show others that it can be done, if you have the right vision for yourself and the right planning and then the right mentorship, right? It takes a village, but for me, I knew I wanted to be a president back in 2008, and I had a president speak that in my life, and
Mm.
so to be able to see it come to fruition faster than most would, anticipate, uh, is a great thing. But more importantly, I'm hoping that I'm inspiring the next generation of leaders to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not always what you are pursuing, because I know a lot of leaders that are pursuing the presidency, and once they get there, they pursue the next presidency. I think it's what is ensuing in your life as well. You've had some really good people, like you
Yeah,
said, speaking into your life, and you're not hustling after every next greatest opportunity.
absolutely.
You're actually spending some time to transform. That's the maker of happen, isn't the maker of just I'm moving around. Right?
Correct.
There's been a lot of things that have happened under your watch, under your umbrella of influence. When I think about, just generally speaking, all of education, and I've worked in both K-12 and higher ed, it's a pretty slow moving system.
Yes.
And for many reasons, that's kind of a good thing. But you've got a secret sauce for moving from like an idea to implementation. And can we share some of your secrets? How
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
how do you think about it?
So I think of everything as a system. Everything is interconnected. Everything is a system, and everything is jointed. And you have to be able to tell the story and pitch the vision. So, as an example, ultimately in this country right now, we know workforce is the buzzword. Everybody needs talent. Everybody needs workforce. But the way you go about doing that, a lot of colleges and a lot of leaders, they do it a very traditional way. Well, we're going to set up a committee. We're going to put the committee together. They're going to work on this for several months. They're going to create some ideas. We're going to send it to the faculty senate, the curriculum committee. Eventually, a year from now, we're going to have that proposed to the cabinet, sent to the board for approval. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what we know to be the truth is we have to be more responsive, and industry is looking for innovation. Industry is moving at the speed of light, and they're looking for people that can do something that has never been done. And so for me, it's we want to do this program. We have this workforce need. Who do we find? Who can we bring to the table that
Mm,
can not only do it but expedite it, but then also do it in a way that's never been done? And that's the innovation piece for me. I'm always asking our team to think about your work and then look at national models and see where we can do things differently and make it unique and differentiate ourselves from the marketplace.
yeah.
And that level of entrepreneurism is how it starts. And then really how you expedite that is finding folks that have the resources and the desire to match that intensity. Uh, and that's how
It's
I've been
really
able.
about, I think, the system is built. I mean,
Mhm.
the institution, every institution is built to protect status quo. I
Correct.
mean, if you've studied systems long enough, you know that that's systems theory. We
Yep.
protect what is safe and predictable. So for you to come in and get your people to take the foot off the brake of the system, because that's basically what needs to happen.
Yep.
There's a power dynamic that you got to kind of you dance through, you got to figure it out. And you've had the ability to do that with dignity and respect without crawling over people.
Mhm.
Anything else to add? And then maybe we'll shift to another topic.
Well, you have to love people. I think you just nailed it. It's about loving people, right? Spending time with people, expressing what you would like to do, and understanding their desires. And once you let people feel loved and feel appreciated, then they're willing to jump over the moon because I mean, they're gangbusters, right? And so, for me, it's always starts with the people first. It ends with the people. You can have great ideas, you can have great strategy, but culture is really about developing the people and spending time to ensuring that they know that you trust them. And more importantly, if we do something and if it fails, that's okay. It's okay. I would rather you do something different, try it and fail, than do nothing and keep the status quo. So you have to give people that space to feel safe enough to do the experimental. But more importantly, you need to be in there with them. They need to see that you're at the table. And so that's kind of just some of my secret sauces.
What I've heard in that is just genuine care for the individuals that you're working. You use the word love, and I don't think that's a squishy word
Absolutely
whatsoever.
not.
That is one of the hardest things to do within the system is to love your people and love your work, right? It's passion and purpose, like in human form. So love that and your culture, right? You can't have a healthy culture without first loving your people.
That's right.
Ah,
Absolutely.
so get it. And what a whirlwind, huh? Play on. You're closing a remarkable chapter and moving into a whole new adventure. Your recent chapter has been filled with a lot of delight. So, how are you feeling about the work that you've accomplished in your tenure at Augusta?
So I get that question frequently, and I tell people I feel good, but I feel incomplete
Mm,
because I'm a finisher, right? There are some projects that I wish I had more time to see through fruition, and they're going to happen. They're going to happen with me, even departing because they're well on their way. But it's just one of those things you just want to see it. You want to be at the ribbon cutting. You want to see the finish line. So that's the bittersweet part of it. But more importantly, the opportunity that I'm going to is one that I would have never dreamt of years ago. And it presents an opportunity for me to do even more with my skill set and with the community that I'm going to. So, it's one of those things, leadership, you want to leave a lasting legacy. I believe I've done that. I think
yeah.
I've set the institution up very, very well for the next person to take it to a higher level. So I'm happy about that and looking forward to the new chapter.
Well, I think pat yourself on that back of yours. There are some leaders that really are meant to start things, and
Correct.
other leaders that are more wired to establish those things.
That's
and
right.
then other leaders that are meant to come and advance those things. So it's all a part, I think, about where you're coming into the system and what's happening
That's right.
in that. And you're a startup guy. You're a guy that's not afraid to take a risk and crawl into a different channel, maybe a frequency that nobody's talking about, and making it happen.
Well,
I think that's got to be the theme here. We're making it happen.
making it happen, and I think for me too, you have to have a supportive board.
Mm.
Boards matter. Your board chair. I can pitch some ideas, and they're like, but they trust me. They're like, okay, Jermaine, they're like, okay, we're gonna follow you. And I think once you show the ability to do it, implement, and execute, then it really opens up the doorways because they're like, well, we like that. We want to do more of that. And so even my board has been transformed in the four years to just giving me the green light to continue to innovate.
Another crucial part of just the foundation of high performance anything.
Yeah.
So you're stepping into a leadership in an institution that's been around for a while.
Yes, sir. A little bit.
18 something, 1890, I think.
1890. That's
There
right.
it is. And they have a mascot.
They do. Tigers, go
Salute.
Tigers.
So let's talk about your experience at Augusta and workforce development and how that has prepared you for going to a fully different place altogether. Because it's unlike anything that you've been a part of, right?
Absolutely. I think the two parallels that are alike is that we're both minority serving institutions. So I'm at a predominantly Black institution now, and going to an HBCU,
Yeah.
the state's oldest HBCU, one of which has, of course, been a traditional liberal arts university, but they're in that juxtaposed position as many liberal arts colleges are, right? You have enrollment challenges, you have fundraising challenges, you also have more needs for more workforce development programs, right? In IT, healthcare, business. So not just your traditional English, history, programmatic areas. So the desire for me to continue that history of the liberal arts is there. The opportunity to get into research. I did work at a R2 for part of my career on faculty. So that was a unique opportunity to go back to an environment like that. But more importantly, to bring in and expose them into new programmatic areas, to bring in some of the things that community colleges do very well: continuing education, workforce programming, customized training for local companies. That's something the university has not done. Looking at research and making that more applied, making it more granular to middle and high school age kids. So there's a lot of opportunities taking some of what I've done at the two-year college space and presenting those to a four-year institution to really make that four-year institution more nimble, and really grow into alternative revenue sources that they currently don't have today. So a great challenge, a great opportunity. And what I've heard from the faculty senate there and even the search committee is that they welcome that. They know that they need to continue to evolve, and they're looking forward to someone that brings that innovation and entrepreneurial spirit to the industry.
Well, you've talked about a number of the opportunities in this transition, and just briefly about some of the challenges. But I think all of higher ed and those that represent the office of the presidency right now are they're challenged. They're struggled with a lot of things that I just call the noise, but
Correct.
it's real noise. I mean, we have to respect it, and I think figure out new ways to kind of manage through all of that with a missional focus,
Yeah.
right? To champion that mission above all things. So as you think about some of those macro challenges, right, and then stepping onto a new institution that might be looking at you for immediate answers to those challenges, how is that occupying your mind at the moment?
Yeah, I think it goes back to focusing and championing the mission. It is an HBCU, and it will always be an HBCU. We have to serve our constituents, and that's providing them the best academic experience, the best student support experience, and the best student life experience that we can offer, bar none. Those things don't change regardless of what's happening in the national media, internationally. Ultimately, when people make that decision to come to the college, they expect a certain experience, and we need to provide that. And ensure that we provide them holistic opportunities to not only grow, but also to get employed after graduation. And so for me, that's going to be the marching order, for the faculty, the staff, and the alumni. How do we garner the institution's excellence and continue to graduate talented folks that are in the sciences and in the arts, because we need them. That's never going to change. And so if we keep that the focus, we'll continue to work on the other things on the backside.
And I also believe that HBCUs play a critical role in shaping the future of this country.
Absolutely.
And we've got leaders tuning into this pod, many of them that are feeling the full weight of VUCA, right? Volatility, uncertainty, just
Mhm.
all the things that come with that, and might need a little pep talk. So we're coming in for a landing here.
Yes,
And
sir.
I would love for you to think about if there is like one piece of something that would be inspirational, maybe inspirational plus practical, right? As somebody who's young but not inexperienced in navigating these realities, what wisdom would you have to share with those who are tuning in, but also working to create a transformative culture on
I
their
think the,
campus?
I think the simplest things is we have to stand up the stories of our students and our constituents.
Mm.
I think of my institution here locally. We're a predominantly Black institution, and I want to talk about one student named Sarah. I'm just going to use Sarah as an example. Sarah's 26 years old, mother, two kids, coming to us to get a degree in nursing to change her life. Minority woman, has had many struggles in her family, went through domestic violence, finally got herself in a safe space, and she's looking to education to be her gateway to a better life.
Mm.
That's why we are here. That's who we're serving. And if we can keep Sarah as our point of reference, our North Star, regardless of the noise going on, and we have to deal with it, we understand it. That's the reality. But people are spending their time and energy and their treasure to come to us, believing that we can provide them that pathway to a better life. We owe it to them to keep the main thing the main thing. And
Mm.
that's championing the mission. And I think of that Sarah when she comes on campus, because she could be doing other things, but she is sacrificing her time with the expectation that I trust this institution to get me to the next part of life. And that's what we just need to focus on. We have to focus on the student, and everybody that works at the college, from the bursar's office to the janitorial crew to the academicians to the student life folks. If we focus on Sarah, we will be successful,
Mm.
because that person's life 15, 20 years from now, that's the person that's going to be taking care of us in the hospital. That's the person that's going to be paying taxes, that's going to be raising their families. They're going to have a tremendous economic impact. And then, oh, by the way, her children will more than likely go to college. And so it's a trickle down effect. It's generational. And so that's what I would hope that our higher education leaders lead with, is just keeping Sarah in the forefront. And I think we all will be able to keep the main thing, and continue to champion the work, because it's transformative work. I love what I do every day.
I can tell.
I love when I see students come across the stage, because I was one of those students. My parents were first generation, went to a technical college, graduated. My dad owned 3 companies. He's a serial entrepreneur. My mother had a 36-year career in the hospital, all because of the education. They were first in their families to do so. So if we want to replicate that same experience for somebody else, we have to focus on that. And that will be our North Star.
You have inspired me, and I'm sure everybody that's tuning in. Standing up your student stories. I think that is, we're going to put that on replay and probably just keep clicking on that to remind us. We're wrapping up here, and I want to thank you for showing up today and showing us what inspiring the heart, but also modeling the way really looks like in and across all of our campuses, and showing us what leadership really should look like, because there's a lot of noise out there.
Yep.
So to our viewers, keep them on the watch. You got Savannah State University sitting out there. Go Tigers. Come on. With
Yes, sir.
Dr. Worrell's leadership, they're writing an exciting story, a new chapter in this storied history, right? This has been the show with Joe, and I'm just so pleased. This has been one of the best guests that we've had on this show, reminding you that everyone deserves to live in a community served by healthy leaders like this amazing human right here, who are building healthy teams and leading highly reliable systems. Hey, before we wrap up, you got to do what all the kids do, right? You got to push the right buttons. You got to like it. You got to put a comment out there. You got to send it to a friend, because this is worthy of replicating, folks. Again, thank you, Dr. Worrell. So grateful for you today.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. Always a pleasure, man. And thank you for this platform and sharing these inspirational stories to all of our leaders.
Well, until next time, this is Dr. Joe on purpose to cancel all things average, right?
Yes, sir.
Peace, friends. Peace, friends. Take good care.